Hello everyone, my name is Dan Fleischman, and this segment is not for everybody. This one is for social media agencies that want to collaborate with social media influencers for the local businesses or brands that they're managing. So the reason I say it's not for everyone is you're not going to combine a social media influencer with an attorney, right? They're not going to go have the local social media influencer with 64,000 followers go post about the local attorney. That won't feel organic. However, a doctor would. We've managed, must have been 60 or 70 different Instagram models that have gone to either laser away, tattoo removal, breast augmentation, lips, a lot of things. There's different niches that doctors are really good at. And some of them do everything cosmetic. And they love working with influencers because they're offering the influencer a service for free, or they might give them for free and pay for the post, depending on how big the social media following is. But the doctor offers it for free, and the model, whether it's a guy or a girl, most of the time it's girls, are getting this free cosmetic surgery that could be a $200 cost, $1,000 cost, or if it's breast augmentation or something like that, it could be $5,000 to $10,000 cost. So then they may post multiple times. So what happens for the doctor in that sense is he or she is saving a lot of money by doing it in trade because they're getting the full retail price worth of value from the influencer. What that means for you guys here that are managing the brand or the doctor in this story, you're just helping them do more things that help make your job easier. So let's get really granular. So the local doctor, you're in Wichita, Kansas, the local doctor that does breast augmentation and facial cosmetics. You bring that doctor, two influencers. One girl's going to do post about getting laser away on her face or lip injections. The other one's going to do posts about breast augmentation. So the one for breast augmentation is very expensive. It could be $5,000, $6,000, as much as $10,000. So that's going to be a multi-post deal. The girl's going to post about it, a picture of her inside, covered with something. She's not going to be exposed. Sitting next to the doctor, talking about her being there for her preparation and figuring out what size she's going to get and all the things that go along with that surgery. During that consultation, that's when she's going to do a post, either that day or the next day, a nice edited photo or a video walkthrough of the doctor's place. But you want the doctor involved in some of the imagery and some of the times just the model by themselves. Then there's going to be prep work. So they'll come back a week or two later and do a similar type post where they're at the location, excited about the upcoming surgery and how it's going to help them. Then post-surgery, once it's all completed, then they're going to do a picture either with the doctor saying, "Congratulations to me, everything went great," or it'll just be themselves thanking the doctor. So the doctor got 3 or 4 posts out of one surgery, but that's because the surgery was expensive. If it was a lip injection, which is only a few $100s, it's the same concept, except they're only going to do one post. So that post is going to be right before or a day later. If they do right before, you recommend to them to do the post with the doctor or make it clear that they're in a doctor's office and it's not just a selfie, because not everybody reads the the caption. So you need to make sure that it's clear in the image so they want to go read the caption that they're at a doctor's office, because then the imagery is different. If it's just a hot girl's picture or a buff guy's picture, people sometimes just scroll past it. So it's different if the hot guy's at a gym, then he's doing something and there's something to look at and there's more scenery. If it's just him this close, then it's just another picture of him. Same thing with the girl. If it's just a picture of her face, a lot of times people won't see the caption and know what to do, and you want them to do something. What you want them to do is go look at the doctor's Instagram account, who's your client, okay? So the model's there, she takes the picture with the doctor, she tags the business at Wichita, Kansas doctor. No matter what happens with that post, it's not about direct sales, and you have to make it clear to them. You can't promise or guarantee that doctor post is going to convert 1 order, 2 new clients, 50 sales. You don't know that. That's guessing. What you can guarantee is if that influencer has 200,000 followers, that tens of thousands of people are going to see that post, thousands of them are going to like it, and dozens of them are going to comment on it, okay? That you do know. You cannot guarantee that person's going to get X amount of new clients. Sometimes they're going to get 0, sometimes they're going to get 7. Whatever happens is all upside. What you can guarantee is the eyeballs and the marketing, and they're going to be able to use that for other things, whether they put it as like a frame picture on their wall, because a lot of times doctors like to do that if it's a big influencer, or they're going to post it on their profiles so that people, or you're going to post it for them because you're their social media agent, post on their profiles, and it just, again, edifies them that this local influencer or famous influencer that happens to be in your local town is willing to go to that doctor and trust them with a surgical procedure. Now, outside of doctors, there's plenty of other places. Nightclubs. Nightclubs absolutely eat this up. Nightclubs and bars would love influencers to post from their location and actually tagging them. There's a ton of times that influencers go to nightclubs organically because they just want to go party. So they're at these nightclubs and bars and they may post from there, but if they don't properly say it or properly tag it, it loses a bit of the thunder that the nightclub or bar could get, knowing that these 4 hot models go there, or these buff guys come here every weekend, or these girls like to do this, or these guys like to do that. The nightclub or bar loses that impact if they're not actually getting tagged properly because they're just posting a group picture of the movers and shakers, like the buff guys in town or the hot girls. If they're not properly tagging and it's just a picture of them in front of their bottles and nobody knows where they're drinking or partying at, that's not really a big bonus or any bonus at all to the venue. When you make it an actual thing, where you, as a social media agency for that nightclub or bar, tell the influencer, hey, we're going to give you a free table with 2 bottles, so that's $1,000 in value, for example. On Friday night, you can bring up to 6 friends, but you have to do a post. Now you've made an actual transaction happen, where it's guaranteed that something's going to happen for the venue. The actual cost to the venue is not $1,000. Those bottles are $22 and $16 in cost. The only thing they could do is lose what we call missed revenue if they're a sold out night. So if it's a nightclub that's very busy and they normally sell out on Fridays and that table is normally sold for $1,000, then there's a hard cost to it because that's missed revenue, okay? So you have to understand the difference. If they're giving $1,000 in value but their cost is only $36, the actual cost is $36, not $1,000. If it's a place that's sold out and they're going to have missed revenue, then the value is $1,000. That influencer could be worth $1,000. You want to adjust accordingly, because some of them might only be worth a $200 or $300 post. Some of them might be worth a $10,000 post because they have millions of followers. You just need to adjust that accordingly so that it becomes a mostly fair transaction. A lot of times, though, the nightclub's going to win in a big way because there could be an influencer with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of followers that we're going to go to that venue anyway because they have a birthday coming up, or they wanted to go out but they just didn't feel like spending $1,000 to go out, so now they look like the cool kid because they get to be at that nightclub or bar and have that bottle service all set up for them, and they got it for free. Whether their friends know it was for free or not, or whether they know the post was mandated or not, that's up to the influencer. But no matter what, the nightclub is getting the most bang for their buck because their actual hard costs on giving away food and beverages is very minimal. And the value of getting the cool kid in town, the big influencer in town, remember, some of these can be micro-influencers. They might only have 45,000 followers, but 45,000 followers in the outskirts of Ohio, that's a big deal. That's like the college quarterback or somebody that's like the big mover and shaker in town. Those 45,000 influencers could have a bigger impact than somebody with 1 million followers that are for the masses. Because the people in the outskirts of Ohio really care what that college star does, or what that model does, or what that influencer does, even if they're what we call a micro-influencer, which is less than 100,000 followers. So orchestrating that, a lot of times there may not be a financial transaction because it's for trade, but it helps you because you are the manager of that brand or retail location, and you're getting more content, and you're looking like a hero to the brand or location, and you look like a hero to the influencer. So you look like a hero in every single scenario. You're just managing the transaction to be run smoothly and clearly, and make sure that the influencer posts it, and make sure that the location sees the screenshot, feels the impact, and knows what happened. Okay. The business niches that benefit most from the influencer collaborations are restaurants and nightclubs. The restaurants can do a little bit different than a bar or a nightclub. The restaurant can use gift cards or dinner comps or lunch comps, for example. So in the same theory where I was explaining about for nightclubs trading for a bottle service, they can trade for dinners, which again has so much value for the restaurant, because if you give an influencer, let's say you're managing some fancy steakhouse in Ohio, right? You're managing that fancy steakhouse's social media. If they give a dinner for 4 people to this influencer that brings 3 guests with them, and they go crazy and they spend $411 and 4 fancy steaks and a bottle of wine, they went crazy and they had this really expensive bill. Okay, the actual cost on the $411 is under $200. That influencer is most likely going to have higher value, and you can ask in trade for a post before and a post after, or you can ask for a post during the restaurant or with the food, all based on their following and what you want value-wise back from them. But the implied value of a $400 meal is very, very high. It feels the same as getting paid $1,000 in cash, because again, you're making the influencer look like the cool kid. They're getting to go to the fancy steakhouse that you're managing the social media for. They're getting to go to that fancy steakhouse, bring their friends, and just sign away like they're the boss. So you see what happens there? You're making an influencer feel cool. You're making the restaurant feel cool. The influencer's posting about the restaurant. You set up everything so you're the hero, and everybody's winning in the scenario, and the costs are minimal. If you want to make a financial transaction happen and have the restaurant or tanning salon or a doctor pay on top of the trade, you can, but a lot of times you won't have to. A lot of the times these influencers want what your client is offering or need what they're offering. If it's a chiropractic service and the person doesn't need a chiropractic, they don't need to get their back checked out, then you can orchestrate them paying $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, whatever that amount is, to that influencer to just do a straight paid post. When you do a straight paid post for a location, you have to think about the value of what they're going to get. So, influencer has 100,000 followers. Local chiropractor charges $150 a session. Okay? How many sessions? You can't guarantee how many sessions are going to come from the influencer, so you're gambling. And you don't want to be gambling or implying that you're going to guarantee any amount of clients, because you can't. You don't know whether they're going to send 0, whether those people are going to send 40 people to this chiropractor, but those 40 might not come tomorrow. They might have seen the post and they don't necessarily need to get a chiropractic back check the next day, but they remember it 2 months from now, and they came because they saw their favorite influencer post it 2 months prior, and they might even go back and look at it. They'll remember it, especially in the local towns, because that's impactful to them. They're like, hey, that's my favorite restaurant, or hey, I heard about that chiropractor, or hey, that's a tanning salon I should go to, that's near my house. A lot of times the impact may not be that day, and it may take multiple posts, or it may take that one post, but they don't actually need it for a month from now. You still did that. So to prevent yourself and mitigate risk of you making any promises, don't make any promises. The only thing you can be clear is, this influencer has 100,000 followers, thousands of people are going to see something, a bunch of them are going to like it and comment, and you've done some kind of influence. If sales come from that on top of that, those are just brownie points for you. Do not guarantee sales, because you cannot. Will sales happen? Most likely, if the location has a good product, they're open the right hours, the price is right, the people come at the right time of the year. Like, there's too many factors that you can't control. The part that you can't control is, you're the agency of record for this business. You're the person that knows this influencer, and you reached out to this influencer, and you know how many eyeballs they can bring to that business. That you can control. That you can guarantee. Okay? Other niches that it's good for: restaurants, bars, nightclubs, tanning salons are good. Anything that people already are going to go spend money on. Dry cleaners, and those are right on the borderline. Yes, people need to go get their dry cleaning. Yes, people need to get dog walkers. Things that are not too expensive, like that $20 to $100 cost, aren't always going to be the best. However, It's organic. If that's your client, an influencer can only help. It's never going to hurt to have, the local 22-year-old that has 100,000 followers to post from the local veterinarian or the local bakery. It may not have the same effect sales-wise, or their sales amounts are very low-ticket items, but it's only going to help to have somebody post about your cupcake shop or your veterinary clinic or your dry cleaning place by having this influencer with 100,000 followers post from there. If it's a few $100 interaction, or it's just trading them for X amount of credit or a gift card, it's great for you to do no matter what. Again, you don't need to make money on that process because you're already getting paid $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month. So you trying to middleman 20% or a couple $100, you can, but you really more want that process to happen to make you look like the hero for everybody involved.